Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
What's up, my fellow breadheads? NCAA Hustle here. Welcome to the final regular season one and done recap show. Now, you see, we're all kind of dressed up here. Yeah, we got a special end of the season award show here in store for you. You know, we did take a cue from the Oscars and started a little late, so thanks for sticking around with us. But you know, we're going to get to some headlines and the bubble watch, our final power rankings, our award show. But first, you can find him on X at MCHolland34. Oh, Captain, Mike Holland. You're looking sharp, my friend. Look at you. You look like you're on a Zoom call for your work, man.
I know, man. I forgot to tuck my little wire in, so that's going to bother me the entire show. But whatever, man. Yeah, I'm feeling good, living better. I'm ready for this awards show. So the regular season's over, man. Isn't that crazy? We made it.
Flew by, man. It
really feels like it just flies right by. So yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed all the content that we've done, from DFS to betting, conference previews, conference tournament previews, all this stuff we're about to do in March Madness. These award shows were a lot of fun. We all got to vote, which was pretty fun to see where we were all at with everything. But man, I'm excited to kick this one off for sure, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The voting was really cool. You know, especially you got the chat going between us all. You know, just like
you suck, you suck.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do you mean? But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. Looks like we have Mama Rocks coming in. Wow.
Hey.
Thank you, Mama Rocks.
Yeah, NCAA Hustle thinks he's getting drafted by the Giants over here. So.
Hey. One can only hope, you know.
The Giants have orange in their colors still, right?
What's that?
The Giants still have orange in their colors, or am I just colorblind?
No, they do. I'm just it's like the White Sox version of it, you know what I mean? That's how good they are. Anywho, this is a basketball show here, Mike. So let's get into some headlines from this last week here. I want to start with the Big 12 here. Houston just embarrassed Kansas to close out the regular season. One of the biggest things that came out of this is Hunter Dickinson getting injured. That was a scary moment.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack here, Mike, from both sides. What say you on this game?
Well, I guess I'll start with the Houston side, even though you teased up the Dickinson news, which I'm sure is not a surprise to anybody that follows college basketball or watched ESPN over the last 24 to 48 hours. But a great job by Kelvin Sampson, man. This is the first year for the Cougars. Obviously, they've been a power program for the last 3 to 5 years, making a Final Four, getting to an Elite Eight and a Sweet 16. So, yeah, give them their flowers here. I kind of bagged on them a little bit through the year, saying that they're coming into a very tough Big 12, but they did return a couple of stars in Jamal Shead and Juwan Roberts, and they've been spectacular this year. I still have some reservations as far as, what could happen in the future with them. I'm not, I'd say, completely 100% sold. They've won the best league in the country, so I should be sold, but they could get caught with some guards that can break down defenses. So it's all about guard play in March. They do have 2 phenomenal guards with Shed and LJ Cryer's addition this offseason. Gave them that much-needed scoring punch with Tremont Mark headed out to Arkansas. So on the Kansas side, though, I think you would agree, and a lot of people would agree, that the sky is officially falling. I mean, you get drubbed on the road, right? You're the 6th seed. You're a 6th seed. You're normally the 1. Worst case scenario, the 2 in the Big 12 tourney. Dickinson getting the MRI on his shoulder, but Color is clearly not well. We thought he was out for the year at one point a week or so ago. So they didn't have any depth coming into the season. Absolutely scary times right now for Jayhawk fans.
Yeah, man, scary times. I mean, your 2 top players, and like you said, there's no depth behind them. I mean,
yep.
It's hard to envision them going much further to finish off the year with all these injuries, right? I mean, but who knows if Dickinson ends up being okay and he's able to play.
Yeah, they got
pretty interesting in the 6th seed, right? It'd be kind of interesting, but hopefully he's okay. I never want to see injured players, but We're going to move on to the ACC here. North Carolina holds on at Duke to win the ACC title outright. Fans were just throwing stuff at the Tar Heels.
Yes.
Filipowski tripping people. Huh.
Yeah,
interesting.
Weird.
This one just had it all, man. Mike, what are your thoughts on the UNC win?
Yeah, Duke player tripping somebody. That's happened a few times in the past. But a great job for the Tar Heels to win the ACC outright. Cormac Ryan went bonkers. Him and Harrison Ingram, the reason why this team is doing the things that it's doing this year. Of course, you have RJ Davis and Armando Bacot. They are stars, superstars in the game. Some of the best players at their respective positions in the country. Probably going to have their name called during our awards ceremony a little bit later. But a tremendous job by Hubert Davis to win the ACC after last year's disaster. Chris, man, any thoughts on this wild and wacky rivalry game?
Dude, this is what makes college sports so fun. Like the rivalries, right? Teams just going at it. There's nothing like Duke, North Carolina playing for an ACC title on the line, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the mecca of college basketball right there.
Exactly. That's what dreams are made of. Exactly. And it's like when those teams aren't good and they're kind of going at it, it's just not the same. But they're both top teams going at it. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you talked about North Carolina, and I think they're deserving of the final 1 seed, right? Especially after what happened to Arizona last night.
Your Arizona Wildcats.
My Arizona Wildcats. Thank you. Oh, great night. Anyways, but, speaking on Duke, I mean, they're going to be a scary 3 or 4 seed, right? One of the most talented rosters from top to bottom. So that's going to be real interesting to see. But yeah, great game, great rivalry. I know we had Eric the Blue come in with a comment saying a Duke tradition for Filipowski tripping out there. So,
yeah.
So it's fun. Thank you for the comments. Everybody comment, like, and subscribe. Get out there. Hit that notification bell. This is the busiest month of the year. We are going to be putting out content like crazy. So make sure you know when we're going to be coming on. So hit those like and subscribe buttons. Get in those comments. Let us know what you think. We're going to move on to our final headline here. Kentucky, they go on the road to beat the SEC champ, Tennessee, in a battle of heavyweights. The Wildcats let Connect get his, but then they shut down everybody else, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They split the series in the season, each team losing at home. Wildcats sneak into the 2 seed in the SEC tourney, and they bag a double bye as a result. Kentucky seems to be figuring it out at the right time. This is the perfect time for them to be figuring things out right before a big tournament, right?
Yeah,
this is what you want. Mike, this crazy SEC battle, what you got any comments on these?
I think it's going to be straight fire. So congrats to Tennessee on still winning the outright regular season title. They're spearheaded by the number 3 defensive efficiency in the country. This year, they have that bona fide star in Dalton Connect. We've talked about this storyline all year long, but people forget they have a very veteran team that's been there. James, Vescovi, Ziegler. They're going to be a popular pick to get to a Final Four. I think with some free throws in this game, that's a little bit of a concern for me going forward. They have missed some critical free throws. They're not a great free throw shooting team. So they're going to need that if they expect to get to a Final Four. But like I said, Kentucky with one of the highest upsides of any team this year. Their freshmen have been spectacular. Reed Shepherd, Dillingham off the bench is crazy. You have a top 5 pick coming off the bench. They just have so much depth across the board. Whoever's the number 1 seed in their bracket, they are not going to be very happy to play all these future pros and, and all these guys with supreme talent on the court.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Well, that is our final headline of the regular season on this recap. Looking forward into going into the postseason, but we have bubble teams going into the conference tournaments here. So We're going to go through a couple of these bubble teams here. Mike, I'm going to go ahead and start off. Actually, it looks like we got Cam coming in.
Yeah.
LOL at Duke Heels. Yep.
Yeah, LOL. I saw Cam commenting on Twitter, trying to get videos from the throwing stuff at the Tar Heel fans. Tucker Devries today. Shout out to Drizzy Drake. Yeah, man. Cam, Mama Rocks, y'all think Indiana State should get in there? Let us know in the comments. But, yeah, we're going to do a little 4-pack of bubble teams. So, Chris, why don't you start us off with a Big East team?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start us off here. I'm going to go with Villanova. They're sitting at 17-14, 10-10 in conference. Their net ranking is at 32nd. Q1, they're 4-10. They had a chance to really put their foot in the door with a win at home against Creighton. Unfortunately, came out flat and couldn't complete the comeback. But the crazy thing is now they need to at least reach the Big East Conference Championship. You need to reach the final to have a chance here. Yep. So that's my first bubble team. Who are you looking at with our number 2 bubble team, Mike?
Yeah, let's look at Wake Forest from the ACC, 19-12, 11-9 in the ACC. Just a roller coaster ride the last 2 weeks. Their net ranking is 37th. They're 2-5 in the quad one. They just got their second quad one victory by beating Clemson. Well, it's crazy. 2 weeks ago, they beat Duke, and we were like, oh, they're in. Then they lose to Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech, and we're like, oh, they're out. And then they beat Clemson, and it's like, oh, they might get in if they can do something in the ACC tourney. So we'll see. We'll see what this committee does with Indiana State, because it could affect, one of these Big Ten teams like Iowa, like Wake Forest, if they're able to win a couple of games, even in the Big East. A couple of teams there winning a few games. It's going to get real interesting. At least they have games to play, though, which Indiana State does not have. But Wake Forest sitting a little bit toward the back of the pack as far as bubble teams trying to get in. But they're right there. They're knocking on the door. They've been like that for the past couple of weeks. So who you got for our third bubble team?
Yeah, I got the Fighting Texas A&M Aggies, one of your favorite teams.
Oh, yeah.
At 18-13, 9-9 in conference. Their net ranking is at 46. They're 5-6 in Q1. I mean, they won 3 in a row to end the regular season, so that's not too bad. But the only thing that's holding them back is their Q3 record at 2-4. Yeah, like the first 2 teams, they need quality wins in their conference tournament to be considered and to move forward. But yeah, Texas A&M, you're Fighting Aggies there, Mike.
Oh boy, I'm not going to touch that one. I'll move on to our last bubble team here, New Mexico. Yikes, now all of a sudden there's 7 really good teams in the Mountain West, and you're probably only going to get 6 in. New Mexico 22-9, 10-8 in the conference. Their net rating's nice. It's 29th, but their quad one only 2-6. Problem for New Mexico is the UNLV has gone bonkers over the last few weeks, pushing them down. Also doesn't help that New Mexico didn't play anybody in the non-con. 208th on KenPom in strength of schedule for the non-conference. So you should probably get another Q1 opportunity out there if you could, New Mexico. But they need to at least probably make the conference championship game, like you mentioned with Villanova. What we're saying is that these teams on the bubble, they got to get at least, I would say all 4 of these, probably 2 wins to even be in consideration. So that's what makes these conference tournaments fun. You have like the 1s and 2 seeds that know they're getting in. You've got these desperate teams basically all littered throughout the bubble in the middle of the conferences and then all the way down to the bottom, because the very last team in the conference still has a chance to make the NCAA tournament. That's what makes this next week absolutely bonkers, and it's already happened in the mid-major ranks for as we speak, and we'll be doing another conference tourney preview show right after this show. So why don't we move on to the old power ranking segment so we can get to some awards here in just a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing though, I gotta throw my Arizona State Sun Devils there. They got the Pac-12 tournament. I'm hoping we can do something there.
Oh boy!
And then after that, I'm just gonna hope we get into the NIT. So we do have a couple quick comments that came in here. Cam coming in. Indiana State is so close. I'll say yes. Don't have a great Q1 record, but for me, eye test says they are better than
eye test. He likes Robbie Avila, like the rest of the country.
Exactly. Mama Rock saying, I think yes, too. Top 30 net rankings. And agreed, Cam. Yeah, eye test says for sure. Cam and Mama Rock's going back and forth saying hello. Love the community that we've built here. Love you guys. And I do think it's baffling. Everyone feels Michigan State is just safely riding as a 9. They have been.
That was a bad loss today.
That's so true, man.
Yeah, we'll see. It's in his track record. It's be hard to keep him out. Larry Nerd is a fun player. Yes, I prefer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as well.
Yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's great, man. But let's pop into these final power rankings for the regular season.
Yeah, let's get these power rankings, final ones of the regular season here. So we're going to go through them real quick. I have number 10, Illinois, 23-8, 14-6. They were not ranked before. They had that late surge at the end of the year. Mike, who you got at number 9?
Yeah, number 9, we'll go with Kentucky, the aforementioned, as some would say on here. 23-8, 13-5. They were not ranked either, but nice quality win towards the end of the season, playing better ball. We got Kentucky at 9. Who do you got at 8?
Marquette, the Fighting Shaka Smarts, 23-8, 14-6, down one spot. But biggest thing is that's looming large is the colic injury. You know, it's a great season so far, but that colic injury came at the worst time. Who you got at number 7, Mike? Somebody you really like, I think.
Yeah, I've been banging the drum, been on national radio saying Creighton's going to win it all, so I fully expect them to get bounced in the first round. They're 23-8, 14-6 in the Big East. Leapfrogging Marquette, I know they beat them head-to-head this past week. I know Kolick wasn't there, but overall, like Creighton, just looking very good. If you look at the metrics and teams that have won national championships over the past 10 years, they fall within those metrics. So who do you have at number 6? I think a team that you love. Who do you got?
Team I love to hate, Arizona, the Wildcats, 24-7, 15-5 in conference. They are down one spot, so good news on my end, bad news for them. They fell to USC, dropping out of the number 1 seed conversation, but a great year so far. But yeah, I know that ugly loss that they took yesterday was rough for you. But who you got at number 5?
Yeah, Caleb Love could make a shot. Tennessee, 24-7. Heading into our number 5 spot, they are down 1, 14-4, lost that game against Kentucky. Still love what they can do with Dalton Connect, and they're a great, great defense, which we talked about earlier. Number 4, who you got in that light blue?
Yeah, that light blue. North Carolina, 25-6, 17-3. They are up 2 spots. We were talking earlier off air, bounce back year, and they're the kings of the ACC right now. So great year for them so far. Who you got number 3?
Yeah, number 3 is Purdue. So no change here, 28-3, 17-3. A nice win against Wisconsin today. Obviously, if you have Zach Edey, I know the graphic here says that Purdue is 2, but we actually have them at number 3. So we'll get that cleaned up. And then number 2 would be the team that's listed number 3. Who you got there, Chris?
Houston, 28-3, 15-3 in conference. No change from what we've had before. First year in the Big 12, like we said, we even talked at, I think, at the beginning of the year about how difficult it was going to be for them, and they locked up that number 1 seed. So they're sitting at number 2 for us. And no surprise at number 1, Mike. Who is it?
It's the Huskies of UConn, the defending national champs, 28-3, 18-2 in a tough Big East. No change there. So we're looking at a rundown here of Illinois 10, Kentucky at the 9 spot, Marquette 8th, Creighton coming in at 7th. Arizona, the 6th ranked team on our power rankings. The top 5, Tennessee, North Carolina, Purdue, Houston, and then UConn. So, yeah, man, there it is. Final regular season power rankings. I don't know, first year that we've done this, so maybe we bring them back after the conference tournaments. I don't know. It's going to be weird because the conference tournaments wrap, and then you have Selection Sunday on the same day. So it's kind of might be a mess, might be the final one of the year, but we'll see. We'll see what we come up with.
Yeah, absolutely. I always love doing it. I mean, it's fun to talk about these teams all year. So.
Yep.
But before we do this, make sure you like and subscribe. We hit those notification bells. We got a bunch of content coming out. Make sure you know exactly when we're going to be coming on. Tell your friends about your broskies and basketball. But we are going to go and jump in to our first annual award show. Yay! We've got everyone dressed up, I was going to wear a tie, but my neck's too big and it wouldn't fit, so I just figured I'd go without the tie.
It still looks good, though. It still looks good.
No, thank you, Mike. You have to say that because we're buddies. But first annual award show, we're going to be going out and giving out awards to the Power 6 conferences. We'll start with Player of the Year. Then we'll list out our 5-man first team all conference. After that, we give out individual awards like Coach of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Newcomer of the Year. And if someone is on our first team, we give that award to somebody else. So we're trying to give out all the awards.
Yeah,
and then
man.
finally,
I want everyone to get an award.
Yeah, I want everybody. But none of my guys got the awards. Anyways, we'll move on. The first conference that we're going to talk about here is the ACC. Their Player of the Year is R.J. Davis, guard out of North Carolina, the ACC champs. He was rocking 21 points, almost 4 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and shot 45% for threes. Mike, what are your comments for our Player of the Year in ACC?
Yeah, I think no surprise. I mean, this guy took his game to another level. Just a fantastic year. Armando Bacot sometimes steals all the headlines in the preseason over the past couple of years since it felt like he's been there forever. But R.J. Davis, now that Caleb Love was out of the mix, just really got to dominate the ball, and just a 45% from 3. Like, you will absolutely take that every single day. So R.J. Davis, congratulations. you're our first ACC Player of the Year. So congrats to RJ Davis there. What else we got?
You got Cam in the comments saying RJ.
There you go,
So
RJ. We'll send you a sweet one and done plaque.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll be printed out for you. So
exactly.
All right. We'll go ahead and move on. Like I said, we're going to do the first team, all ACC team. Of course, RJ Davis is our number one guy there. But we're going to fill this out. We got Kyle Filipowski, forward out of Duke, almost 17 points per game and then had 8 rebounds. Number 3, Judah Mintz, guard from Syracuse, 19 points a game, 4.5 assists, 2 steals. Great player there. Number 4, Armando Baycott, forward out of North Carolina, as you were saying, 14 points per game, 10 rebounds, so he's averaging a double-double. And then last but not least, PJ Hall, forward out of Clemson, running almost 9 points per game and 7 rebounds per game there. But, Mike, you got any comments on our first ever all ACC team here?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was some talk. I know the voting we had, Davis, Filipowski, Mintz firmly in. I think the last 2 spots there was pretty close. Reese Beekman, probably a guy that I had in, but a lot of you, I said the 4 of us. Baycott got in there. I mean, it's tough to argue when his type of career, and then you average a double-double on the season, and your team wins the regular season title outright. So, no shame. PJ Hall for Clemson too, just a phenomenal year. I mean, 19 points, 7 rebounds, almost a block and a half per game. So, yeah, love you hate when the lists come out from these conferences. It's like 8 players. It's like, but 8 players, that's not like, you don't field 8 players. This isn't, it's 5. There's 5 on a basketball court.
Who are you going to play?
You're going to play. Yeah. So, I mean, some good guys are going to get left off of these teams. But, Davis, Filipowski, Mintz, Baycott, and Hall, I think we got it right. So what do we got for the next awards here in the ACC?
Yeah, the individual awards. So we're going to start with the Coach of the Year, Mr. Hubert Davis out of North Carolina, 25-6 in the regular season and outright ACC champs. Like we were saying, we talked before, he's the last year they didn't make the tournament. And This year they're number 1 in the ACC. So they're doing great things. Defensive Player of the Year, you talked about him already, Reese Beekman, guard out of Virginia. He had 3 defensive rebounds and 2 steals per game. Newcomer of the Year, Mr. Hunter Salas, guard out of Wake Forest, 18 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and a steal. And then our Freshman of the Year, Marcus Burton out of Notre Dame, a guard, 17 points per game and 4 assists per game and 2 steals. Mike, got any comments on these guys here?
I was all about Hubert Davis, right? Especially the bounce back season, like you just mentioned. Reese Beekman, I just talked about, could have been a first teamer for us, but obviously the best defensive player in this conference showed that with his over 2 steals per game and a lockdown defender at guard. Hunter Salas putting Wake Forest into the conversation this year after transferring from Gonzaga, and then Marcus Burton, like it could have gone to Jared McCain from Duke, but I mean, they won more games than a lot of people thought they would in conference play, and he averaged 17 points and is going to be probably on the preseason, award list next year. So a great, fantastic year for Marcus Burton. So let us know, guys out there, if you agree with those ACC picks. Who do we leave off? What did we miss on? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know where we messed up here, and we'll tell you why we were right.
Absolutely. You will be wrong.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and move on to the Big East awards here. We have the Player of the Year, Tristan Newton. Not too big of a surprise here, I don't think. I think that was one of our only unanimous ones, right? Other than, somebody else. But, guard out of UConn, the Big East champs, 15 points per game, 7 rebounds, and almost 6 assists. Mike, what do you think of Tristan Newton?
Yeah, the beast year, man. 15 points, 7 boards, 6 assists. Like, you don't find too many people stashing that line. Big East champs, won a national title last year. Like, this guy is just racking up accolades. Now he has a one-and-done trophy to go on his resume. So, it's looking really full on that trophy shelf for Tristan Newton. But just a phenomenal year for UConn, and he is obviously the straw that stirs the drink for them. So, congrats to Tristan Newton.
I mean, that just helps his his draft stock, having the one and done trophy, along with him, right? That just helps his draft stock.
Yeah, absolutely. It's at least worth one slot.
Right. Now let's go ahead and move into the first team All Big East. Of course, Tristan Newton's in there. He's our number one guy. We have Tyler Kolick, guard out of Marquette. He's rocking 15 points, almost 5 rebounds a game, and over 7 assists per game. And he's shooting 38% from 3, so that's pretty good. We have Baylor Shireman, guard/forward. He played both positions out of Creighton, rocking 18.5 points per game and almost 9 rebounds per game. We have Devin Carter sitting on our 4th spot, guard out of Providence, 19 points per game, over 8 rebounds per game, and 3.5 assists per game. I mean, this guy's stat line is crazy. And then we have Trey Alexander, guard out of Creighton as well, 17.5 points, almost 6 rebounds, and almost 5 assists. Mike, a couple Creighton guys in here for you.
Yeah, I think the first 4 spots easily, just so easy, right? Tristan Newton, Tyler Kolick, Baylor Shireman, Devin Carter. I think that 5th spot in this one, where the ACC was maybe the final 2 spots, this one came down to that 5th spot. You could have picked another UConn guy here, someone like a Cam Spencer, a bunch of different guys in the running for this 5th spot. But you look at Trey Alexander, just a phenomenal season, man. And what him and Shireman mean to this Creighton offense. They do all the heavy lifting. These guys play 38 to 40 minutes a night. They don't get a night off. They don't get, subbed out ever. So just a fantastic year. I think this one people will maybe disagree with, but honestly, there are probably 3 or 4 guys you could have slotted in here, but we're not playing 8 guys. We're only playing 5, and we'll take Trey Alexander to slot into that 5th spot. So a great year for obviously the Creighton guys. Yeah,
no bench for the all team.
Yeah. You got to play 40 minutes on this thing.
Exactly. All 40 minutes. And they can do that, the guys from Creighton. So we'll go ahead and move on to the individual awards here. Coach of the Year for the Big East is going to go to Dan Hurley out of UConn. 28-3 in the regular season, outright Big East champs, right? Pretty good there. Defensive Player of the Year, Devin Carter out of Providence, the guard. He had 1 block and 1.7 steals per game. Not too shabby. Newcomer of the Year, we have Cam Spencer, guard out of UConn as well. He's rocking 14.5 points, 4.6 rebounds. So also really good from the 3. And Freshman of the Year, Stephon Castle, guard out of UConn as well. 11 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So really good freshman there. Mike, what are your thoughts on these? A lot of UConn guys, huh?
Yeah, a lot of UConn guys, because that 5th slot could have gone to a UConn guy. Instead, they got a bunch of different individual awards. So congratulations to Cam Spencer, Stephon Castle, and Dan Hurley, who did another phenomenal job. They were picked 3rd in the preseason after winning a national title. Showed that, obviously they are for real again this year as our number 1 overall team on our power rankings. Devin Carter, man, just an absolute beast, going to be a lottery pick. His stash line is insane all the way around. If they were in any other conference, probably a Player of the Year candidate for sure. But, overall, just kind of looking at these, a lot of UConn guys getting love here. And obviously Devin Carter on both ends of the floor, but we gave him Defensive Player of the Year.
Gotcha. Cam coming in with a couple comments here. First, we'll go with who else was in the Freshman of the Year running for the Big East, Mike?
Yeah, there weren't a lot of guys to vote on in the Big East. I think Churchill Abbas was was in there. Rich homie Quan Barron was in that thing. The Big East is a lot of old dudes. So yeah, that was one of the ones where it was a unanimous pick because there aren't many challengers there. So thank God Stephon Castle was there. Otherwise, we would just throw this award away in this conference. But that's a funny comment, Cam.
Yeah, he also answered our previous ACC. I think I'd have had everything you did other than Beekman first team over Baycott, even as a UNC fan. But Baycott was still a solid at most of the
winning
time.
Matters. Winning does matter. So Virginia's sitting on that bubble too. But I get it. We get it. You know what I mean?
We get it.
But we weren't going to do 6 to 8 guys. We were going to do 5, and we're going to vote. And that's what was going to happen. So you take it and you like it, and these guys will enjoy their awards. He can enjoy his defensive MVP.
Good deal. Well, we'll go ahead and move on. We have Cam saying, never mind, it was easy for Castle, and then Mama Rock saying with the laughing face here. So We'll go ahead and move on to the Big 12, the toughest league or conference in the country. The player of the year, drum roll.
Oh boy, here we go.
Now we did do these before the game he got hurt, so it's Hunter Dickinson. We do it on the whole year. 18 points per game, 10 rebounds per game. Averaging a double. Immense player, but yeah, that injury, man. Mike, what do you got?
Bummer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it came down to him and another guy that we're going to mention here in a second. I think I saw the All Big 12 team come out, and it went to a different guy. But I don't know. For me, like if you look at it, like the way that Kansas was built this year, if they didn't have Hunter Dickinson, this would have been a complete train wreck. So you can't fault the guy that's averaging a double. One and a half blocks per game, shooting 35% from three. Like, he has to be their offense right now. Hopefully the injury, we'll see, what comes of that. But a very, very tight race here between him and the second guy here. So why don't we bust out this first team All Big 12 so we can chat about it?
Yeah, first team All Big 12, Hunter Dickinson, of course. We have Jamal Shed, guard out of Houston, 13 points a game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, almost 3 steals a game. Huge. Kevin McCullough out of Kansas as well, guard, 18 points per game, 6 rebounds, 1.5 steals. And then we have Max Asmith, guard out of Texas, one of your UT guys, Mike. Almost at 17 points per game and 4 assists per game. And he was shooting 37 from 3. And then we have Toman Lipsey, guard out of Iowa State. He's rocking 12.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, and almost 3 steals in his own right. Mike, what are you thinking here? You're only one Texas guy. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's 14 teams. You can't put all the Texas guys on here, right? And I think it's interesting. I think this is one that can be debated. I think Dickinson, Shed, and McCullough, Shed being the player that won the Big 12 Player of the Year award tonight, but we chose to go with Dickinson here. Shed, obviously a fantastic player in the running for Bob Cousy Award for Best Point Guard in the country. Kevin McCullough has to do all the heavy lifting with Hunter Dickinson on this Kansas squad. It was kind of a coin flip between Max Asmith and Dylan DeSue. We decided to look at the entire year. Obviously, Asmith having to carry Texas for the majority of the early part of the season while DeSue was out. In conference play, you could obviously make a case for DeSue, but just some big games from Asmith. Texas could be on the bubble if Asmith hadn't knocked down a critical shot at the end of the Louisville game. And also bailed them out of some of the other games earlier in the season. So without Asmith, I feel like Texas wouldn't be in the position they are to get into the tournament, even with DeSue returning. And then Toman Lipsey, like, we had to have an Iowa State guy on here. It was between him and Keyshawn Gilbert. You just look at the kind of the overall offensive and defensive balance that he brings to you, just a kind of a no-brainer for us to get him on the first team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Great player, man. Also, he's really great in DFS sometimes, right? So.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the individual award winners here. So we have Coach of the Year, Kelvin Sampson out of Houston, 28-3 in the regular season, outright Big 12 champs. New kids on the block came in and just took it all down, right? Yep. Crazy. Defensive Player of the Year, we were talking about it a second ago. Toman Lipsey, guard out of Iowa State. Almost 3 steals and 3.5 defensive rebounds per game. Great player there. Newcomer of the Year, Ray J. Dennis, guard out of Baylor. 13.5 points, almost 7 assists, 1.5 steals per game. Great newcomer there. And our Freshman of the Year, Jacoby Walter, guard out of Baylor. 14.5 points, 4.5 rebounds per game. Great for those Baylor Bears. Mike, what say you on our individual award winners?
Man, this Big 12 was tough, man. Like, it was tough. Yeah. Like, you look at Defensive Player of the Year, Jamal Shed could probably be Defensive Player of the Year as well as Player of the Year. Right. But it's just there's so many quality defensive teams. Iowa State, man, like going on the road there is just as tough as going to Houston. Top 5 team nationally as well in defensive efficiency. And then you just look at the stocks, like it's crazy for a guard. Newcomer of the Year, obviously Max Asmith's a pretty good player, but he's on our first team list. Ray J. Dennis putting Baylor, in position here to be a 3 or 4 seed. And then Jacoby Walter, right, just a fantastic freshman season. We'll see if he goes drafting or not. So yeah, I think the Big 12 out of all of it's just so tough when you have like no love for BYU, which like absolutely Like Mark Pope could have been coach of the year, right? Like picked 13th out of 14 teams, and you get your team to the 5 seed. So yeah, just overall an awesome conference, and one where I wish we had multiple more awards to give out, so that way we could feel better about leaving off some of the guys and some of the guys that maybe should have won some of these awards. But that's what we have. That's what we do. This is why we have fun.
Exactly. Here at One and Done, we do not give out participation trophies unless I'm asking for one. Exactly. But let us know in the comments what you think, how you would have gone about it as well. We got 3 more conferences to go here. Let's move on to the Big Ten. So we went Big 12, now we're going Big 10. Player of the year. I mean, is it really any surprise? I mean, who else could it be? Of course, it's Zach Edey.
It's Braden Smith. Oh, great. Zach Edey.
Zach Edey out of Purdue, right? 24 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, 2 blocks per game. I mean, what else? What can this guy not do, Mike?
There's not much, honestly.
Yeah.
Not much, honestly, man. Just another fantastic season. Probably going to win the Player of the Year award nationally again, probably by a sweep. You got to think defenses last year were focusing in on him, and you got to think that even more onus to take him out of games, and you can't. I don't want to hear about the Big Ten refs and all this stuff and all that stuff that goes on Twitter. Just a phenomenal year for Zach Edey. You love to see it as the big man here in college basketball is still alive and well.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we had 2 unanimous guys. The other ones we had kind of fighting against, but Edey, unanimous. There's no question in our minds there. So we'll go ahead and move on to the all Big Ten team here. Of course, Edey's on there. We have Terrence Shannon, guard out of Illinois, 21.5 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. We have Boo Booey, guard out of Northwestern. I just love his name, man. It's just so much fun to say.
Oh, man.
He's rocking 19 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and shooting 43% from 3. Tyson Walker out of Michigan State. He's the guard, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, almost 2 steals per game. And then we're ending it out with Jameer Young, guard out of Maryland. He's sitting at 21 points per game, almost 5 rebounds, and just over 1 steal per game. Mike, what are your thoughts on all these gentlemen here?
Yeah, Big Ten, pretty easy at the very top, like we just mentioned. Illinois, pretty simple here too. Terrence Shannon, I know you had the legal troubles, but man, the guy can flat out score. Boo Booey, just willing Northwestern back into the NCAA tournament. Again, he's going to go down as a legend at the school. And Michigan State's fallen off a little bit. Tyson Walker, though, having a fantastic season. And yeah, Maryland not great in the standings, but when you consider like what they had and Jameer Young and what he had to do for this team, another guy that logs basically 40 minutes a night, putting up this stat line. That 5th spot was between a few guys, but he ends up taking it down. So I think overall a pretty solid list. What else we got?
Yeah, for sure. We got our individual awards. Coach of the Year, we're going with Matt Painter for Purdue, 28-3 in the regular season and Big Ten champs. Pretty easy Coach of the Year spot there. Defensive Player of the Year, Zach Edey, with those 2 blocks per game and 7 defensive rebounds per game.
Just a monster.
I mean, he's just can we just put him on all the awards?
Every award.
Right?
Yeah, just a pure
Our newcomer of the year is Marcus Damask, guard from Illinois, rocking 16 points, 5 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists. And freshman of the year, Owen Freeman, forward out of Iowa, almost 11 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and almost 2 blocks per game. So really big numbers for a freshman there, Mike.
Yeah, he's been awesome. A guy that next year we are going to have a lot of fun with in the DFS circles. But honestly, like once he gets an off season under his belt, he's going to be an absolute terror. Marcus Damask, man, like the pairing with him and Terrence Shannon has made Illinois lethal offensively. And yeah, the Purdue guys, right? Like we were wondering middle of the conference season, Wisconsin was leading. What's going on? Dropped a few games early, and then here they go, just zoomed right to it and taking down the Big Ten pretty easily. So chalk up at the top for this Big Ten.
Chalk up at the top. Exactly. So we got the Big Tens. I'm losing spot where we're even at. Big Ten was just done here. We're going to move on to the Pac-12 here. Oh, looks like Mama Rocks came in here.
Yeah, big question.
Does Purdue make it to the second weekend?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the reason why, and a guy that probably should have gotten an award, and I actually voted for the 5th spot, was Braden Smith. Just such a fantastic sophomore year. The reason why they aren't going to have the struggles that they've had over the last 3 seasons, losing to a 14, 15, 16. It's going to get old saying that over the next – I can't wait till we can stop saying that. But, yeah, I mean, the guy's just playing on another level. He went down today with a little bit of an ankle, but ended up coming back, and he doubled with like 10 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals. So just a phenomenal player, very deserving of that 5th spot. But, hey, like you said, like we can't give out all the awards to everyone. So that was the decision that we went as a team.
Yeah, Cam saying, I'll say yes, Mama Rocks, Virginia vibes after 16 seed loss.
Yeah, Cam.
The following
I'm with you. Virginia loses to UMBC, and then the following year they win the national championship. Purdue losing to the 6th seed, Fairleigh Dickinson. They'll probably make the Elite Eight, but that's about it. So I'm not going to give them the national title because the Creighton's going to win. So, I mean, how can I put Purdue in the national championship?
Hey, man, Tennessee's going all the way. We already called that earlier this year.
There you go. That's right, my man.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the Pac-12 here. My Pac-12, the last year of the Pac-12.
The Sun Devils. All right.
Yeah. Well, no, that's why I'm so mad, because none of my players even made it in the voting. Like, not one. So mad.
If we had voting for players to leave the team, you would have gotten we could have.
Yeah.
Jose Perez would have walked away with that one easily.
All right. Well, we got the player of the year, Caleb Love, the guard out of Arizona. You know, he's hitting 18.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1 steal per game. He's shooting 35% from the threes. I mean, he's a good player. Plays for the team, but
he's a good player. Spoken like a true hater, but no, nothing but love for Caleb Love here from the One and Done crew. Pretty sure you voted him first as well.
I did.
Awesome to see too, man. Like, you hate to see the story last year. You know, almost ended up in Michigan. That would have been a disaster for him. Ends up with Arizona. Going to probably be a 2 seed, and would love to see him make a run in the NCAA tournament. That would be a pretty cool story. So let's run down that all Pac-12 team. Who you got?
Yeah, all Pac-12. Of course, Caleb Love, but we got KJ Simpson, guard from Colorado, which was really a surprise team this year, right? Colorado coming up. He was rocking 19.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, almost 2 steals per game, and 45 from the 3. Miles Rides, guard out of Washington State, coming in, 15 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. Omar Ballo, forward out of Arizona, coming in. You know, he had 10 rebounds per game, 13 points a game. So another guy that did double-double for the year averaging. And then number 5, we're sitting at Tristan Da Silva, forward from Colorado, 16 points per game, 2.5 assists per game, 37% from 3, I should say. Mike, what say you on these top 5 guys?
Yeah, I think I was in love with the first 4. I mean, Caleb Love there. You got KJ Simpson, obviously a fantastic year this year. Miles Rice, Washington State had to have at least one guy. I would have said that they probably needed 2 guys. I put it for Isaac Jones to get that 5th spot, but you can't go wrong because Colorado's also off the bubble right now and into the tournament. Tristan Da Silva coming back, had a fantastic year once again. The 1-2 punch with him and KJ Simpson. At the beginning of the year, there was like all kinds of range of outcomes for this team. Some people were saying they had, like Final Four aspirations. A lot of people, including some of us, were like, who else do these guys have? And now they were out of the tournament, making their way into the tournament. So I'm not mad that Tristan Da Silva getting that 5th spot, but I would have loved to have seen Isaac Jones there. And then Omar Ballo, just the second best player on the best team in the conference. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go ahead and move on to our individual awards here. Coach of the Year, we're giving out to Kyle Smith out of Washington State. 23-8 in the regular season, finished 2nd in the Pac-12 after being picked near the bottom. So huge props to Kyle Smith out of Washington State. Good job there. Defensive Player of the Year, we have Omar Ballo, forward out of Arizona. 1 block, 6.5 defensive rebounds per game. Great player there. Newcomer of the Year, Jalen Tyson, guard out of Cal. He's rocking 19.5 points per game, almost 7 rebounds per game, and shooting 37% from the threes. And Isaac Collier, guard out of USC, 16.5 points per game, almost 3 rebounds and 1.5 steals. Mike, what are you thinking on our 4 awards here?
Yeah, Kyle Smith had to get it, right?
Yeah.
I think we were chalk with everyone winning the the conference here. And Tommy Lloyd, it's another fantastic year. But Kyle Smith, like you just said it, like picked near the bottom. No one expected this from Washington State. So fantastic job by Coach Smith here. Jalen Tyson, there's some talk that, Isaac Jones trying to get some more hardware here. But Cal was, people might not remember this, but they were terrible over the last 3 to 4 years. Them winning, getting close to 500 is a feat in itself. So you kind of balance that out with Isaac Jones. Either one of them could have won this award. But Jalen Tyson, statistically, with a monster season for Cal, and Isaiah Collier, like it's going to be a top NBA draft pick. Fantastic season as a freshman, almost averaging 17 points. So I think we nailed that one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know in the comments if you agree with everything we have here. And when you're in there, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you're up to date with all the content that we have coming in, especially with this busy month coming up. So let us know in the comments there. We're going to go ahead and move on to our final award conference here. Final Conference 2 award is what I should say.
It's late.
It is. I mean, it's way past my bedtime,
Time change.
The time change, too. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to talk SEC. So we're going to go Player of the Year for the SEC. My guy, Dalton Connect, guard out of Tennessee, 21 points per game, almost 5 rebounds per game, and shooting 40% from the three. Mike, what do you think about our boy Connect?
I disagree. Just kidding. Easily one of the most important transfers, and not the most important transfer this offseason. Just a fantastic year. I don't know how he's going outside the lottery and draft boards right now. Like, I would take this guy in the top 5. Just offensively, just an array of skills. Tennessee, always known for their defense, but people forget Rick Barnes can recruit some offense. He's had players like LaMarcus Aldridge, Kevin Durant. Not saying Dalton Connect is on that type of level, but he's trending that way for sure. So SEC Player of the Year, Dalton Connect was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll go ahead and run down the other 4 players in our top here. We have Mark Sears, guard out of Alabama, 21 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game, almost 2 steals, and shooting 44% from the three. Our guy, Janai Broom, forward out of Auburn, rocking 16 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, over 2 blocks a game, which is huge. Wade Taylor, guard out of Texas A&M, sitting at 18 points per game and 4 assists and 2 steals. And then we have Zakai Ziegler, a guard out of Tennessee as well, 11.5 points per game, 6 assists, and almost 2 steals. Mike, what are you thinking on that end?
Yeah, I think that fifth spot, again, interesting. Connect, Sears, Broom, obviously deserving to be there. Tennessee at the top, right? Definitely love Ziegler there. As for the winning perspective, and just for the fact that I feel like he's the X factor for this team. Wade Taylor, preseason Player of the Year. Obviously, the Aggies right there on that bubble. Him needing to continue what he's done so far to really make this thing go. Wade Taylor, another right there on the line, but the top 3 very hard to argue against. So why don't we get to these individual ones and wrap this thing up? But first, it looks like Cam and them got a comment here. Let's see, big question. Let's see. Did the silver choice come down to him, Brooks and Carlson? Yeah, pretty much really to him and Carlson and Isaac Jones. So yeah, appreciate that comment there. But yeah, let's wrap it up with these individuals for the SEC.
Yeah, the individuals we have for the SEC, Coach of the Year, we're going with Lamont Paris, South Carolina, 25-6 in the SEC, finished tied for second in the league after being picked last. So huge jump there for them. Good job, Mr. Paris. Defensive Player of the Year, Janai Broom, forward out of Auburn, 2.5 blocks per game, 6 defensive rebounds per game. So, yeah, for sure he gets Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Newcomer of the Year, Aaron Estrada, guard out of Alabama, 13.5 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 1.5 steals per game. So great job there. And our Freshman of the Year, Reed Shepard, guard from Kentucky. He's going with 12.5 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 2.5 steals, 53% from threes. That's pretty good for a freshman there, Mike.
Yeah, it could have been man, if the guy played, imagine if he played 35 minutes, regularly this year, like absolutely would have gone bonkers. Another top 5, top 10 type pick. Love the Janai Broom. That was the easy one. Unanimous decision there. Unanimous on Lamont Paris as well. Just a phenomenal job. No one thought South Carolina was going to do what they did this year. Aaron Estrada getting the Newcomer, obviously making Alabama very potent with Mark Sears, who's on our first team. So yeah, man, this was fun. There are lists for the Power 6 conferences. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Tell us where we're wrong. Tell us what we got. Maybe tell us what we got right. We'd love to have some love too.
Yeah,
so,
we like love.
We like love. It's all love, right?
As the conductor always says, show your broskies in basketball some love, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys very much for watching us. We put a lot of work into this, or I mean, I didn't, but everybody else did. I just kind of said hi, and but I did
hit the vote button.
Yeah, but no, seriously though, we put a lot of work into it. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comments what you really think. Like Mike said, if we missed anything or if you completely agree, we have more to come throughout this entire month and even after in the off season too. So make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. And there's a ton of content. I mean, we have Mike. He's writing up like 5 episodes a day. This it seems like, but feels like it coming out. And Mike, you said there's another show tonight, right? We're rocking. Again.
Yeah, I think we're rocking in a conference preview show. We'll see if we get that done either tonight or maybe in the morning. We'll see. We'll see what's happening. So we just got plenty of content. We're ready to dish it out, man. We're nonstop right now. It's all gas, no breaks.
Yeah, we sleep in May.
Maybe.
Exactly. Maybe. Well, thanks, guys. Until next time, let's get this bread.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drrodo.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.